You know, God gave me my health back, some of my youth. Can I talk about faith? I drove all the way to California from Nebraska. I did. 3 days. Okay, Iowa. Yeah, Red Oak, Iowa, all the way to LA. I did. That's faith, ain't it? I had no money. How did you do that? In about the normal amount of time it takes to get there. With no money. None. That's faith. Why? I believed I had to be there. I prayed. And I did stuff to maybe get there. Like, I'd get out and play my instrument and believe that that was faith. To purchase money. And then when I would ask, I had to ask for money. God led me to not everybody gives you 20, 30s, or 100s. I don't think anybody's ever gave me 100. There's a couple here that have. And I really appreciate it. It helped me. Now what was that one? That's that. Okay, thank you. And the clothes too, thank you. Okay, but when I left, even on the street, there, in Orlando, and a few did give me a 20 here and there. That's high for them. Most people won't do that. A few bucks. You learn to eat on. I learned to eat on $2 a day, sometimes something like that. And the Lord started to get me about $3 to $4 a day. And so yeah, about like that. Sometimes 5, sometimes more. I knew how to ask and pray for it, and that's when everything was taken. Everything. And it's different. Seasons are different with God. It's just like that. Sometimes it was money. Sometimes it was food. It just varied. And that was on the street in Florida. And I imagine some of that was in LA. They got a strip called Skid Row. It's literally hundreds of people. There's thousands of homeless there. Thousands. And with the COVID and everything that happened, they didn't care for them. They don't care about their life or nothing. Real people have went out and died. And lost property, they've lost real estate, they've lost... I didn't have to do any of this, guys. I had an apartment fully furnished, 4 jobs I could work, all of them, through the crisis the whole time without a problem. The whole time. But I chose to. I believed and I obeyed, and then I obeyed. God actually had me to go. And I didn't understand why I went all the way out there the whole time. I didn't know what it was all about. I didn't understand that God was training me and showing me stuff that I needed to know. When I went to California, it would be like I was learning how to hear Him and feel it and know it. Like, there's different ways to train, and I never learned it when I was younger. But some people actually train how to do stuff and how to know stuff and where to go and how to get it and things like that. You know, I can't get into all that. I can't share all that here. But I do know some of it. And I know how I believe and what I do and things like that. Okay? But when I went there, it would be like, okay, yeah, kind of over here. Like He was guiding me. The Lord was. I was like, okay, that's them. Is it, Lord? I don't know. And I had to believe and I had to step out and ask. I'm a missionary. I'm going here. I have to get there. That's all I knew. And I'd get 20 or 30 bucks here and there. I made sure to get about 6. I tried to have about 30 on me most of the time. It didn't always work. Sometimes I'd have nothing. And then before the desert, I didn't have the full faith, and I kept saying, Lord, I don't want to go through this desert with nothing. I was nervous about it. My AC had just went out. And it was like 130 driving through it. I had the windows down. It didn't help. I slept. I think I went through Las Vegas, coming back or something like that. I don't remember if it was going there or coming back. I went a different way before I went through Colorado or something. No, I didn't. I'm thinking of Phoenix. I flew through Colorado to Phoenix. And then I went through L.A. I went to L.A. But the night I slept in Las Vegas, I slept in my car, and I was just sweating the whole time. So when I got to L.A., I would just walk around the streets and pray. And the Lord, He led me to one man. He asked for the anointing, and I prayed for him. He led me to another man who was struggling with drugs, and there was just a lot of isolated incidents like that. And there was a lot of that in Florida too that happened. He would just lead me to people, and we would just end up praying. And I looked at him like a street sweeper, like an intercessor, Charles. And so it was. And so God just would intersect those paths a lot like that, and that's how that happens. You have to be ready and available and willing and flexible. God doesn't need He does need training. Now I see that. You need to be filled with the Spirit. But we teach it like this. He's looking for available people, not always talented and skilled and gifted, but you'll get those. Make yourself available. And believe and go out for an hour, go pray. And maybe not in the freezing cold, but if He leads you to do charity or homeless, give a code or something like that, that's how you begin to start that. And you just go out and see it, and He'll school you on it real quick. I had one incident. I was already starting to work with the homeless population in Omaha as well. And I gave $400 away when I was at Amazon. This was before the trip. And I didn't have rent money. That was my rent then. And he knew I had the money, and I didn't know for sure. He had 2 little babies in his back seat. And I took it as a prophetic sign of, the elders, apostles in the gospel, and how we're the drivers sometimes here in the world and in our nation, in the faith. And so it's like he didn't have enough, and he had to get to New York from Omaha. And whether he was or not, I didn't know for sure, and I gave him the money, and he went. They needed to have milk and stuff like that. And so it's almost like a foresight to some stuff like that. And so it comes back to you. That's probably about the expense. It's about $300 probably to get to California, close to that. So maybe less. It's even less than that, yeah. Because I played my saxophone. The Lord led me to come back. I wasn't there very long. It was a quick trip, quicker than I thought it was going to be. And I'm not going to reveal that. But so when I went out there, what I was thinking and knowing was not that, what I originally had foresaw. And so I went and I figured it out. And there's a lot there. I'm not getting into it. But I went to Florida. And this is actually one of them I was going to share. I played in L.A. for 3 days, my saxophone, all day. And these are called your embouchures, your muscles. And I was just getting back. I just bought a brand new saxophone. I was just getting back to it. And I can play a little bit by ear. I can read sheet music. I only got an 8th grade. I got 3 years of actual school in it. I didn't stick with it, but I was just coming back to music and composing and all that. And I felt like I got punched in the mouth because I played 3 days straight. And I didn't. You have to bite into your bottom lip when you play, and it really hurt. But and I would stand there and play and play and play, and like someone was just standing there looking at me. And the Lord said, "Play," and so because I was just standing there, I was tired, and I started to play, and He just handed me a 20. It's just things like that. You just know it, just like that, And so I wrote down 520 or something. I wrote down I think it was 500, and I asked God for that to make it back home because I had no money at all. I literally made 7 loaves of bread out of scratch and some water bottles and drove out there. And I ran out of. I didn't have nothing on the way back, and so $520. I drove to Florida. I went and I spoke with Maurice then. I had my phone and all that then, and I didn't know his hidden saint name. Am Scramble. I was given that in the Phoenix airport, going through some trials there, and there was stuff that happened there. I had angels with me, and the Lord was teaching me how to read signs, like the spelling and signs. You would see like part of the word and stuff like that, and that's one of the ways He would give me messages. And that was one of them. I don't know how to describe to you what that was, but that was what you need to know is when a hidden saint is revealed, it's not the same. They have to disclose stuff, and now it has to be there. Okay? So that was that. And I'm scrambling. So we talked, and I knew I was, I believed I was being, it was that. I was under investigation. It was a full-scale op, and we didn't speak around his phone or even the car, smartphones, smart gadgets, everything has intel. And encryption ain't there across the world. And there was spying even with spirits and things like that. It was very real, and that's part of what we do. We oversee that not to be there. And so we spoke briefly, and I couldn't stay there. I wanted to stay in Florida. I wanted to go, and I tried to get back. I stopped in with my mom for 2 days, and they didn't want me there. They knew something was off or funny or wasn't right, and we didn't speak about it. I just told them I did mission, and I came over. And there's a lot there. There was a lot of fallout. I'm not going to go into all that. There's a lot of drama, and it don't need to be here. But it's a life to know it. There was a lot that took place in our childhood and all of that, and I'm not going to disclose all that here. We don't normally speak most of the time, so here I am, less than 500, and I was tired then just from the week or so out in California and coming back, and all that was faith for me for real. And I was exposing. The governor was trying to shut down. I was hollering at him on my social media, and I was believing to go and speak with him, and the Lord didn't lead me there, but I was prepared to go and speak with him directly. And, because sometimes that's what a prophet will do. They walk right in there and tell them what they are and what they're not. And that was the prep for it. I walked around the street. I was disclosing there was a lot of the homeless population, tents everywhere. Part of the problem, if something I'm exposed, nobody really cares. You got buildings, that you look in the glass and you've got all kinds of property, but you got people stranded on the street. And the explosion on it is this. They care more about their stuff and their money than they do about human costs and human life. Okay? Real estate, you got people renting $1,500 properties and more, and they can't afford it. There's a problem with human trafficking there. We called that out. That was timely. I reported it in the same concurrence that it was actually going down, and I didn't know it. That was one confirmation as a prophet. That was one. At the same time, I messaged it, wrote it down, and was there believing and praying and interceding, not knowing and knowing. I don't understand it. I don't always get all the facts on everything. Okay? But then it comes through, and the Lord does share it, and I get to see it and know it most of the time. He brings understanding to it. Okay? Confirmations are real. They matter. So the issues, they were trying to shut the church down. They were trying to shut down house parties, using too much water or something. And that was California, okay? And that's just the facts. That actually was happening. You can't shut the church down, okay? It's illegal. If it was the bubonic plague or something like real fatal, maybe. Or like martial law, they tried to apply martial law. They actually were, weren't they? And trying to wear your papers. Okay, and then that got into Gestapo with all that, rounding people up in the night, trespassing them when there's no shelter anywhere. There was no shelter in Florida for anyone to go to. You can't put a tent up, the police will take it. That was Florida, that was Melbourne. In LA, you couldn't get in to get water. It's a mountain, desert, tropical region, and the weather is real freaky there. It changes. Okay, so that was a problem. They couldn't get, I didn't stay there very long because I couldn't get water. So that was one of them. But so I went to Florida, and there was something else I spoke about Israel with the fires there. I believed it was people were starting them, and there was no proof for sure on that as far as factual evidence goes. And I said something about Israel. They were struggling. The cost, they charge them a lot for water, and there's water control there in California because. And I said they need to be praying the spiritual climate, praying for wells, praying for rain. and springs and things like that. That's real. God does supply that. He will. And I was putting that down and putting it out, and people were, discussing it and doing it. And I said, Israel, they actually redid the desert there where they have a surplus. They actually use salt water. They got an invention there that they make fresh water out of salt water. I don't know if anybody else in the world has that tech. I said, why don't y'all talk with them? Maybe they could help you to design and maybe fashion one there on the coast in California. Okay? Writing it out, hashtagging and stuff like that. I know they go through it. The governor, they see a lot of the news and stuff like that, and I know people fish it and get it there. So then on my scrolls and on my timeline, I would see stuff, confirmations and things like that show up. Israel did go out there and help with the fires. They actually sent firefighters out there to help them with aid. So maybe that was something. Welcome to politician or whatever it ain't. But they went out there and they gave them support for real. Okay? And I don't want to speak about the Muslim community and all that all that was going on. There's a lot of good Muslims. I've had friends and loved ones, but there's a lot there. And I don't have all the factual base on all of that I was speaking about. There's a lot of stuff that's transparency. I'm trying to stick to facts right now of what I actually saw and witnessed and actually got confirmations on it, all of those things. So after I spoke with Maurice and got his hidden saint name, I didn't know it until then, and that was kind of even lifelong, all the dreams and visions and everything summed up and came together in 2020. My whole life. And it's like it's taken your whole life, not the review, but taking your whole life as a chapter and then reapplying it to everything. Like God uses every memory, everything, all the time, all through time. And those were how I was knowing things were real and how I was confirming a lot of stuff. No one else can do that, can they? I do understand angels are very powerful, very mighty, very intelligent beings. They really are. You get into thousands and thousands of years of generations and knowing stuff. Yeah, okay. That's a whole nother thing. You have to know God, and you have to have Him for real. You have to. You have to have Him. And so if you get into talking about real dominion and real power and real governance, America is a powerful nation. We're not the number one, okay, but we are one of them. And so what is in the real dominion, the real principalities and all that, it's very real. It's hyper real, and it's very fast, and it's scary. It's not okay, okay? And they don't get to shut the church down for a virus. I'm sorry, okay? Immune system, vitamin C, onions, garlic, peppers. Okay? Go and walk and run. Lose some weight. There's a lot to it. A virus. Okay? Apple cider vinegar with the mother. A virus. A flu virus. Okay? It's not a plague. Faith is real. Faith is real. Okay? Yep. And you can build your immune system. Some people have compromised immune systems. If they do, they probably should wear a mask. Okay, elderly, they can. Everybody shouldn't be forced. Everything shouldn't have been closed down for a few. Okay, that was illegal. Highly. Okay? That was, you get into pharmacia. I believe in herbs and health. God gave us the plants, the herbs, and things like that. I do believe in medicine. I thought I was going to do a full career in it. I wanted to be a nurse. Drugs and things like that. Drug money is real. Pharmacology and all that is big money. Okay, and that was a global theater, and it went through all the nations. It did. Okay, and that's a problem. And for them to continue to supply it and deny it and just allow it to go through dumb, there was a lot of dumb thumb, a lot of stupid controllers that didn't understand anything, and they don't want to supply it. The truth, the real. There's a real reality that's taking place, and nobody wants to do anything to stop it. Okay? You don't get to stop the church or shut them down with false lying. Okay? There's a 98% survival rate. It's real. It's a real virus. Okay? I don't like the flu. Nobody likes getting sick. I have a strong immunity because I've worked in healthcare and I've also built it. I built my health, and I also have faith. and favor with the Lord. But that doesn't mean if I do dumb and stupid and things like that, I can still get sick. Things can still happen. Okay? Not everybody has faith. Not everybody builds their health. Sometimes stuff happens in life. There are real things that happen, and I don't understand all of them, and I can't explain all of them to everyone. Sometimes there are real tragedies, there are real things that take place, and not everybody can understand why God doesn't always heal them or recover them and things like that. I worked in the nursing homes. I could not raise anybody out of their beds. Okay? A lot of those, it's into life care. You take care of them with dignity, honorably. You value them. Honor is value. It's about proper value and respect. You give them dignity, and you keep them, and you love them, and you do the best to bless them in what you have within it. Okay? And there's a lot of people that suffer circumstances in this life, and we don't understand all of it. Okay? But we do our best to love them and to be there with them. Okay? A virus. Okay? A flu virus was altered. And they shut the nation down. Okay? Why? It's a little bit stronger than the flu. It was. It doesn't take that long for it to go through all of them, with all of it, with all of them, with all of them, with all of it. God has our time. He has your time. Okay? Money does not get to overthrow the children of God. They don't. Okay? And we don't change all the laws and the foundation principles, the amendments and all that the nation was founded on. Our forefathers founded this nation because of a virus. The bubonic plague lasted, 400 years? And that was real. And you had to shut the whole village down. And if you went there, you died. That was real. Okay? They had to have nuns and priests working with the doctors and the scientists and all that then. They had to. This is not that. Okay? They deceive the nation. It's still running through them. It's still a problem. And you can't shut the nation down. You can't shut the church down. And that was that. That was part of that in California. That's all. I'm going to shut this video down now.